What's up, guys? Back with All Ball Talk. Today we're gonna be going with our Bears draft grades. This is the first, as Bears fans, we got to go with our first draft grades video being on the Bears
Oh
with
yeah,
their class, which was let's be honest, there was a mixed bag.
mixed bag for sure. Definitely. All right, kick us off here. Kick us off.
Hold on, I'm trying to get back in there. Um, but yeah, no. So I am trying to get this. All right, Sean, I'm gonna have to restart this too. This shit's not working. What? Oh, there we go. All right, I'm in. Can you see it?
Yeah,
Okay. So, I believe I'm still recording, but um, I made this little spreadsheet because I figured it's better, easier, and I want to put the grades in here. So, yeah, at the 25th pick, I don't think anybody expected him to be there, but they took Dylan Tiananmen.
love it,
Or
love
was
it,
it
love it.
Thieneman? I mean, Roger Goodell said Thieneman.
I'll say Tiananmen. I
All
don't
right,
really care.
well, yeah,
Philly, whatever.
I didn't, I certainly did not expect him to be there at 25. He's probably the second best safety. Clearly, by the Emmanuel McNeil Warren fall, I think
I
it's
think
easy to
definitely,
say that he
definitely the
is.
second best safety for sure.
Um, Obviously, he's gonna have to be playing free safety next to Kobe Bryant. Uh, but overall, what were your thoughts on this pick, Sean?
Yeah, I think exactly what you think, exactly what everyone else thinks. I think it was a great pick. Did not think he would be there. That's why I thought we'd go edge or somewhere else. But Dylan Tiananmen, you think of him, he's just a regular white guy, right? He can't be that good. Wrong. Absolute dog at Oregon. He's fast as hell. Ball hawk, runs, he hits hard. I think he's a solid tackler. I think he's going to fit in really well, replacing Kevin Byard. I think safety. I mean, we had who do we have starting? We had I forget, I'm blanking on
We
his
had
name, but he
Brisker
was
and Byard.
no. This year with before the draft, like our starting safety. I think it was like
Oh, I think it was gonna be Elijah Hicks.
yeah, Elijah Hicks or someone like that. I was like, yeah, that's a problem. Needed to get a safety, definitely a position of need for sure, and it was a great pick. I would give that an A plus for sure. I mean, what else can you really say?
You know, you can make the argument that they could have gone edge, but let's be honest, there were not good edge rushers on the board. I think Dylan Tiananmen was an easy pick, but yeah, I mean, you could say that edge was a need. Defensive tackle is 100% a need, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
But I think safety was the one just glaring need. Like it was like, oh, that well, they really have to take a safety no matter what.
during this draft, you had to take a high safety or like a safety high in the draft for
You
sure.
needed to take a safety that's gonna end up being a starter for you, really.
Yeah, and they did that, so I'm really happy about that pick for sure.
100%. And obviously, if you guys don't know Dylan Thieneman, he was a dog in his freshman and sophomore years with Purdue. He obviously had over 100 tackles both years, but when he ended up going to Oregon, I think he really benefited from playing around actually good talent instead of playing for a really, really bad Purdue team.
Right, and he
Um,
was an anchor for that Oregon team for sure.
Yeah.
Leader, I
And
would say.
what really impresses me so much is the way that he just kind of the way that he plays he plays with instincts and he's so fast and then he just kind of trusts it's the way that he just kind of trusts instinct. Like there's no hesitation really. I see these plays of him blowing up screens and coming downhill and making fields in the open,
And
making tackles in the open field.
talk about a team that needs fucking speed. Holy
I mean,
crap.
dear
As
God.
Bears fans, we know firsthand. Love you, Byard. Love you, Tremaine. Love all these guys. But they're slow as shit. CJ
I'm
Gardner-Johnson, they're slow as shit. You know what I mean? Like, we got torched by the speed of the Packers all those games. So
and I mean if you
we
look
needed
at it,
speed.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Thieneman runs 4.35.
Right. We needed speed, and I think it's a great addition.
I don't know what Kobe Bryant ran, but then they obviously drafted Malik Muhammad later, who ran a 4.42. And I'm looking up Kobe Bryant's 40 time right now, but
We added Devin Bush. He's fast.
Devin Bush is fast. Kobe Bryant runs 4.54, which that's still pretty good.
Yeah,
But then he
pretty good for
recorded
safety.
4.48 at his pro day.
I think
So
I think I saw somewhere that the Bears drafted the most athletic.
yeah,
Like
but
out of everyone, they were the most
basically
athletic
with the least
draft class.
production. But
Yeah, but we needed athletes for sure.
I
Ben
don't know.
Johnson got us athletes.
But I think I'm with you. Would you give this a steal or would you give it just an A?
I would say
Because
like A plus. I mean,
Okay.
It's hard to give it an A plus. Like it's not like the greatest pick I've
Because
ever
like he is
seen.
a really good player, but this was not a pick that was like I don't know how to word it. Like what do you think was the steal of this draft? I mean, I think Ruben
Like
Bain at 15 is
Ruben
like
Bain would be like an A plus, I
yeah.
think.
So I mean I
Yeah,
think this is still like one of the best picks in the first round.
I agree.
But yeah. All right, well then get to it. They picked Logan Jones, the successor to um Drew Dahlman,
Drew
who
Dalman.
was definitely a surprise retirement.
Yeah, I definitely think this was an interesting pick. For the most glaring thing it told me is that Garrett Bradbury was not a certified starter. I think a lot of us Bears fans thought Garrett Bradbury trading for him from the Patriots for a fifth round pick would be the starter. But when you commit a second round pick, number 57 overall, to a center, it automatically like brings attention to the fact that Bradbury probably not going to be an automatic shoe in. He's going to face some competition from Logan Jones. Um, do I like the pick? Do I like the player? I do think I like the player. I think he was solid at Iowa for sure. Maybe it reached a little high, and maybe it wasn't a position of need. But I do think it was a good pick, and I do think it'll bring solid competition to a position that's very important on that line.
Yeah, and I'm kind of seeing a lot of people that are kind of writing him off to start day one. Like I know you traded the fifth round pick for Garrett Bradbury, but Garrett Bradbury was not good last year. And
That's true.
like I would not be surprised at all if Logan Jones snags the starting center spot. Um, I mean, you think about it, I think he was about a 3 or 4 year starter at Iowa. He played right after Linderbaum, and he's not great in pass protection, but this is a guy who is so athletic, and he's quite honestly perfect for Ben Johnson's like
For his run
his
schemes.
run scheme,
Yeah.
and I think that's why he made the pick. He kind of reminds me of like the best version of Coleman Shelton. You know how Coleman Shelton was like people kind of forget like Coleman Shelton was actually a serviceable center.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Like he was not good in pass protection, but he was really good in the run game. And that's kind of Logan Jones. I just don't know how much upside we could see for a guy who played 3, 4 years as a starter. Like
Yeah, it's true.
I don't really know how much we're gonna see from him, but I think it's a
Well,
fine pick.
it felt like Logan Jones and the rest of those day two picks that was Ben Johnson's day, right? Didn't it kind of feel like that where this was his day to get his offensive guys, right? So clearly it's someone who he believes in. It's someone who he kind of reached up to get.
I think it was. I actually think the Roush pick was just as much Ryan Poles, but I think it was pretty much confirmed that the Xavier Thomas pick was pretty much all Ben Johnson.
Right,
But
yeah.
we'll see. So I don't know. What would you rate Logan Jones? I think this is honestly for me, it's kind of like a C because I think they
Yeah.
should have gone better. I think they should have
I
gone a
was
different
thinking like
position.
yeah, because second round center is really not a need, and especially later in this day two where you don't really address very many needs. So I would say I think C plus, C plus, B minus. I think
Plus,
that's fair range.
we can
I
go C
think
plus.
I
We
think
can
C
go C
plus is
plus. I,
good.
would-
Yeah.
I could agree with that. All right. So Sam Roush, they traded down from the 60th pick. They picked up. What did they pick? Did they pick up?
I thought they picked up a fifth, didn't they?
I think they did pick up a fifth. I don't know. Yeah. Then I think they used that fifth to trade up. Well, what pick did they use to trade up from Malik Muhammad? Oh, they did the swap to pick up Malik Muhammad.
Yeah, then they traded. Yeah, we'll get to that later, but
Yeah, but all right. So Sam Roush is again he kind of follows with like the common theme with this draft class is that he's super athletic. He's like 6'6", 270. So I mean he's in a way he could be your Darnell Washington. This is does seem like it's a move that Cole Kmet's gonna be out in 2 years.
yeah, this has definitely been, if you've been listening to any draft coverage, this has been the most hated pick
Hmm.
for most people. Most Bears fans have been saying, like, why are we picking tight end round three? And I do understand what they're saying. Round three, I mean, when you pick Logan Jones, right, it's not really a position of need. Then you go pick Sam Roush, which is definitely not a position of need. Then, raise some eyebrows, but I do like the sense that, we saw 13 personnel last year, right? In the
Yep.
NFL. It kind of was revived. It was kind of very important, especially like, some of the great minds like Sean McVay, even Ben Johnson was using it a lot more. So, I mean, to use that 13 personnel, you do need a solid third tight end. So, if that's something Ben Johnson wants to deploy more, if that's something he wants to use more, then I think we could see the Sam Roush pick pay off. I still don't love it though.
Yeah, I'm actually much higher than most on this pick specifically. I think this is actually, to me, I think it's actually a really good pick. Um, I think that when you see talent, I love that their approach was best player available for their board, especially this year. I'm honestly impressed with Sam Roush. I think that with the way that he is athletically and the fact that he could end up being kind of like that Y tight end. Um, and I know Cole Kmet's kind of a guy that has like I know he's homegrown, but at the end of the day, he is somebody who said that he doesn't want to play football for a super long time and they kind of wants to retire. And I know they
That's
just
someone kind of
restructured his
paying a lot of money too for not as much
I
production.
I know they restructured his deal, but next year he's gonna have a $15 million cap hit and like
Right. It's like,
it's gonna be I think they saved 10 million by cutting him. So
right.
I think it is pretty clear that he's gonna be on the chopping block next year.
Yeah.
And this is a really good player. And with I know the NFL has been very quickly been transforming to like tight ends have been super important and running backs for some reason like over the last couple of years. I feel like
Especially athletic guys who can run after the catch from the tight end spot.
exactly, and those guys are so valuable. I keep going back to it when I'm talking about it, but the Rams with all their 13 personnel stuff that they ran, like I think that's kind of what Ben Johnson's going for here, where they have
I mean,
right Higbee, Ferguson, and who's the other guy I'm forgetting
uh,
about?
Higbee, Parkinson,
Parkinson, yeah, Parkinson.
Parkinson. I mean, like, there's plays where the best wide receiver in the league, Puka Nacua, there's games where he's playing like 60% of the snaps because they're just running so much 13 personnel and having so much success with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And especially with Sam Roush, like I know he's gonna end up being a really good blocking tight end, but it's underrated the fact that he actually can be a receiver.
Right.
This reminds me a lot of the Terrence Ferguson pick last year from the Rams. That was hated, and he actually ended up being pretty good for the
Yeah,
Rams.
I think he'll definitely be better this year.
Yeah. So in my mind, I'm actually thinking this like in my mind, I think this is a B plus. I think they drafted a really good player here. And I think
I think
that's being overlooked by the fact that they drafted a tight end.
I would probably give him more of a B minus
B minus. All
because,
right.
I mean, just because, kind of how the way the rest of the draft folded out too. But I feel like I mean, you don't want to only draft off positional needs and stuff like that, positional needs, stuff like that. I do think that's overhyped. But like if we could have picked up an extra edge rusher, we could have picked up an extra D lineman at this spot, like where we need it more, especially if we want to win now. I think that's kind of why I would say more of a B minus. But in terms of the player, I think we're both higher than most people are on.
Yeah. So I think it was settle in the middle for a B, I think.
I like that.
Um, Xavier Thomas, okay. Maybe this is the optimistic Bears fan in me. I don't think it's a good pick. I'm not gonna come out here and say it's a good pick, but I don't think it's as bad as everybody's saying. Because at the end of the day, you kind of just gotta go with the trust Ben Johnson. Like he does have 4.28 speed and he has flashed.
Exactly. Maybe he could become like Jameson Williams.
I mean,
Maybe.
I'm gonna be honest, if you just flip to Xavier Thomas and Malik Muhammad, it does not look that bad. Like
Exactly.
still not that's still not a good pick in the fourth round.
Well, I think you definitely needed to get a receiver in this class, right? With Xavier Thomas. When you're looking at,
You needed one more guy because if
yeah, I
you
mean,
didn't,
I
then
think
you were
Jade
stuck
was
with
our third guy our third guy on the depth chart, which is kind of like you need one more guy to at least battle it out there at that position. Would Xavier Thomas been my number one choice? No. However, I do like the fact that he's really fucking fast, and I do like the fact that you put him out there. He could carry the ball. He could be like a trick play type of guy in a Ben Johnson offense that's so creative. So I mean, he could play that Jameson Williams role. Obviously, he's not as good as a receiver, but end arounds, jet sweeps, screen passes. That doesn't take much work to be able to catch screen passes, run for 10 yards. You know what I mean?
and people don't realize like he's a third round pick. If you come out this year and he makes just like um if he just makes plays like I mean you're not expecting him to be a high like you're not expecting him to be Jameson Williams.
No,
Like
no,
this
no.
is kind of just like a gadget kind of how DJ Moore was used. I think this is kind of the vision here. Is that I think that they view him as a faster DJ Moore because I mean think about it, he Ben Johnson used DJ Moore in the backfield, screen passes. In my opinion, I think that's how they want to use Xavier Thomas here, and he's just faster.
Faster, not as physical, but yeah, I think that type of role. And then he could definitely become a special teams guy. I mean, with the new kickoff rules and stuff, fast special teams guys, punt and kick returners are becoming even more valuable. So maybe trot him out there, see what he can do. I think it's a fine pick.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pull it up because I'm trying to think of the guys who were there at this point, um, that they could have taken. Because I mean, I don't love playing that game, but
Hmm.
I mean, it is true. Like, if they're gonna sit here and take him, so I'm looking. So they could have picked Jay Barham as an edge. He's good. They could have gone off at the tackle, but I think it was kind of made clear a little bit that they just want to see what happens with Ozzie Trapilo. And that kind of came out a little bit before the draft, is that they just want to see how he progresses and just play this year with Braxton Jones and stuff.
Right. I like the fact that they didn't get a left tackle and that they are still staying committed to Ozzy. Not bringing
Yeah.
like competition like for like a half a season guy and then like, sitting on the bench or whatever. I like the fact that they left Braxton and Jedrick Wills to replace that gap for now and then wait and see when he comes back.
I'm definitely the same way. So yeah, so I'm looking at it like they could have taken Deni Dennis Sutton. He's just kind of an athletic freak. But I liked Grayson Halton. I liked Caleb Proctor, who
Hmm.
was
If you
a
want to go,
defensive
yeah, if you want
tackle.
to go there.
So like I mean I really do think they could have gone with a much better players here. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna be honest.
then again, I trust Ben Johnson. If you're thinking about position, I mean, if you're thinking like, oh, there could have been a different receiver or something picked or a different guy who's a better receiver, I ultimately trust Ben Johnson more than the consensus media or whatever. I mean, I know you're talking about different edge rushers and D linemen. Obviously, that's a different position, so that's a different conversation. But like when you're talking about, oh, they could have picked different receivers at that point. I trust Ben Johnson. He got the guy he wanted, and I think it's a fine pick. We need a receiver.
I do agree with it. I do think that for me this is like a C minus because I mean if we gave Logan Jones a C plus, I think that this is much more of a reach than that. And as much as I think they kind of could have gotten a guy who could play that role that Xavier Thomas is going to play this year a little bit later.
Yeah, I agree with that. In terms of that aspect, it was a reach, and they could have gotten a guy later. So I think we can go, I would say more C plus on this.
C plus, okay. All right, so we have Malik Muhammad. They moved, I think it was like 5 spots, and they just swapped fifth round picks. But I'm a huge believer, and I think this is a great pick.
I love the pick.
I,
Definitely the second best pick in this draft.
for them or in total.
No, like just for this, Tiananmen was the best pick. This was the second best pick.
I think I'm gonna give it right now. I think I'm gonna give this an A minus.
I would give it an A probably.
An A? Yeah, I think probably a
I
flat A.
think
I could get
I
on board
think
with that.
it's great value. You're bringing in a cornerback competition for Tariq Stevenson, a guy that's, kind of lacked motivation and stuff in the past. So you're bringing in competition, and this is a guy he plays at Texas, so he plays SEC school. He's playing SEC ball. He's playing the best competition every week, right?
Mhm.
And he's a guy who's out there. He produced, right? He's sticky. He can get interceptions. He can make tackles. He can do all these things. I think he's solid all around. He's not going to give up the big play like Tariq Stevenson does sometimes. So I think it's a great pick. I think if you told me Malik Muhammad had to try it out there day one and he's starting day one, it wouldn't be optimal, but I wouldn't be entirely disappointed in it.
So he is someone to me, like for me, he's just a dog. Like I think that this is like really good Dennis Allen guy.
I agree
Um,
with that.
he kind of comes off of a little bit like as just a gamer, and that's my one of my favorite kinds of players. I would not be surprised at all if he ends up jumping Tariq Stevenson if Tariq Stevenson does not produce in the early games. Like I think
He's
this is a
getting an
guy who's going to push
opportunity,
for a roster.
and you know with the health of Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, those guys are always fucking hurt. So I mean, he's gonna get his chance.
Yeah, but the thing is though, I don't think Malik Muhammad's ever going to play nickel.
Yeah, it's true.
like
That's true.
Kyler does. But again,
Reasonable.
like this is not a bad pick at all. I think this is really like I mean he also has speed and he runs 4.4.
Right, exactly.
So
All
I,
these guys are athletes,
yeah.
like, athletic guys.
I was super impressed with this pick. I think this was it's hard for me to say. I actually think this is the biggest value they got. Like I think that like yeah, Thieneman dropped a little bit, but I think that um Malik Muhammad like to start off day three, like I personally thought he was gonna go maybe end of second, early third, and he falls all the way to you in the middle of the second round or middle of the fourth round. Like
Yeah,
I
definitely best
really like
value
it.
for sure. Best value for sure. A lot of the other picks were reaches, but that one we did a good job there.
Yeah,
Bolts did good.
yeah. All right, so this is consistent with my theme that I think that they cooked on day three. Keyshawn Elliott, for me, is like, listen, it's the fifth round. Like, you're not trying to get anybody like super like you're the chances of drafting a star in the fifth round are pretty damn slim. And I think with Keyshawn Elliott, like you drafted a guy who could easily be your linebacker three at some point. I think he's 100% better than Ruben Hippolyte. And his comp actually, I heard it from Marcus Whitman. He said that he's a little bit like TJ Edwards. Like he's not great in coverage. He's a little bit slower, but he has great instincts and he plays the run well. Um,
Yeah,
and
he's
yeah,
definitely gonna get better at coverage for sure. But
yeah,
I think potential's there. He's another athletic guy. And he produced. I think he produced pretty well at Arizona State, right?
he did. I mean, I'm looking at it, 163 tackles and 9 sacks for the past 2 years.
In college, is
Um,
pretty damn good.
yeah, and I mean, again, like he's kind of that he. I mean, I'm really thinking about it. Like he kind of is T.J. Edwards. Like he puts up the stats. He's a solid player. It's just um he just has some athletic limitations. Like I mean, I'm not gonna hate the pick. I think it's a good pick.
I
Yeah,
think in the fifth round, getting to depth, we definitely need a linebacker for sure too. That's the way to look at it.
yeah.
We need a linebacker depth. Last year in the playoffs, we're down to our last linebacker. So, yeah, I think it's probably a solid B plus
I
in
was gonna
there
say the same thing.
for
B
the value.
plus.
Yeah,
Um, then Jordan Vandenberg, they packaged both their seventh round picks to up to get this guy. I don't know how he didn't go up quicker or sooner. Like it's like I mean the league is all about athleticism, and he got a 10 RAS score.
10. Yeah, exactly. And his tape looks pretty good from Georgia Tech.
He flashed. Like I mean,
Exactly.
there's
Like
like I
there's
mean
you can
he
see
was
the potential there.
yeah, and um, no, it's not great, very consistent, but you're telling me this guy. I personally think this is an amazing pick because would I be surprised at all if this year or next year he's in that rotation and it's Grady, Gervon, and Vandenberg this like I mean I'm talking like this year.
Would not be surprised. Not at
Well,
all.
obviously, well you have Neville Gallimore, but I was thinking about that. But I think that and I've always said with Gervon like when if Gervon is in a rotational role, he would be so much better.
Yeah.
If he was playing less snaps, Gervon would be a much better player. Um, and I think this is a guy who could end up being a really really good player in the long run.
No, I agree with all those points. I mean, when you're in the sixth round, you're taking swings, right? Taking swings, sometimes you're gonna miss, but sometimes you're betting on or betting on a guy with a 10 athletic score, like you said, and sometimes it's gonna hit and it could hit big. So I like the pick. Good for the value. I'd probably give it like what, an A minus?
I would give it an A minus. I don't think it's not as good of a pick as Thieneman and Muhammad, but
Mhm.
it's still a good pick. So yeah, I'll
Yeah.
give it an A minus.
Draft felt like it was here, then it went here, and back up at the final day.
And yeah, I mean, the thing about this is they did great on day one. Day two was definitely
Interesting, but I mean, you never know. We're gonna see this play out. We
yeah.
could be total fucking fools right now. It's the one
Then
fluky thing about these draft grades, but
yeah, then I thought day three was really good. So yeah,
put
that's
an overall grade. Overall grade on the
overall grade. Oh, here, let me add one. What would you give it an overall grade?
overall grade. I mean, what matters, I think, the most is your top pick, right? And your top pick was an A. So I think that's
Topic doesn't
good.
matter.
Um, they did good with Muhammad, took a couple late shots. Day two, I would say obviously not the best. I would say I'd say B. I think it's a B draft. Could very well become an A draft if Xavier Thomas, Rouge, Logan Jones become starters in the next few seasons. But I
Yeah,
think
especially since you're betting so hard on athleticism. So like if it
exactly
hits,
right.
you're gonna go crazy. But I'm not gonna lie, like I definitely see a scenario where Keyshawn Elliott's cut in a year or two, Vandenberg's cut in
Mhm.
a year or two,
Exactly.
Savion Thomas turns into Velus Jones, and
This draft could turn into an A or like a C minus. You know,
yeah.
there's variability for sure.
But I am one. I think that Sam Roush is actually. I think Thieneman, Muhammad, and Sam Roush were really damn good picks. Um,
Sure.
I think you drafted a good. I think you drafted good players, in my opinion. Um, I just the Xavier Thomas was a little head scratching for me, but
But I think
and
there's hope with him. I think there's potential with him.
yeah, there definitely is.
I
Because
mean, the production was low last year at LSU, and people like say he's not really a real receiver. But if he can get coached well, I mean, then the LSU team was just disastrous last year. But the year before, like, he was expected and mocked before the season to go probably second round. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's a guy with the potentials there.
and is what people don't understand is he's not meant to be the receiver. Like I mean, he's a weapon. Like there's a difference between
Right.
like you picked Rome to be a receiver, and Xavier
Mhm.
Thomas is someone who's going to be used in a.
Versatile.
He's going to return punts and kicks, and then he's going to be in the backfield, and they're going to throw bubble screens. Like I don't know, it's a different role. Now maybe the third round is a little too rich for someone like that, but there is upside there that I think people are kind of already not.
Right off.
Yeah, they're already writing it off. So that's all I have for
That's
this.
all I got. Yeah. Good video.
Yeah.